Thank you for staying with us. And as earlier publicized, and right before the break, we engaged the Jubilee Deputy Party Leader, Jeremiah Kioni, who is our guest tonight. We're making sense of Jubilee ahead of the 2027 polls. We spoke of either his elevation or demotion. Let's move from that. Let's talk of the state of the country. How does Jubilee view the state of Kenya currently?
Pathetic. We are not doing very well. If you look at the numbers, like for example, let me just give you a quick thing which is frustrating people. I think this week or last week, today is what? Today is?
Monday.
Monday, last week, headline you see 11 billion shillings spent in 6 months. Yet, no medicine, no payment for medication or hospitalization. 11 billion shillings lost by SHA or is somewhere within 6 months. You see the office of the president has spent 6 billion shillings out of 7.something billion shillings for the whole year within 6 months. That of Kidiki is already overshot the budget. And when you see some of those indicators, those are indicators of things that we are not yet in control of our expenditure. Yet on this other side, you have kids who are still have 1,500,000. I don't know whether the number has gone any lower, that have not been placed to schools up to this point. Parents are expected to pay 9,000 shillings as you get your child admitted. Day school children, kids are being admitted in day schools, 100 kilometers, 300, some even almost 1,000 kilometers away from home. You have your own son being placed in a girls' school. This doesn't give us any level of confidence. And when we hear William Ruto trying to lecture us in the opposition, like he was trying to tell us that he is clearing the mess that we left behind, then you can actually see a regime that is confused. We've just done a news item of our children, our young people, now in Russia, dying. We don't even know they went. And the next thing that you hear is that they were fighting in Russia of all places because of the difficulties that they are facing back at home. They wouldn't go into a war if there was work to do here. And on top of that, we are ranked number 2 as one of in terms of human trafficking. Those are the scores that William Ruto has brought to us since he came to power.
And when the president in his defense says some of these structural issues date back their genesis to the Jubilee government,
one of the things
doesn't he have a point?
You remember at the beginning we said sometimes that Ruto lies all the time and all the time Ruto lies. Now that's his nature shidwe. Somebody said that, I don't know whether it's me or somebody else. When you say that you are clearing up the mess that was left, you sat in that cabinet for 10 years as the deputy of the head of state.
As a distant deputy, he says.
Whether he was distant or close, it is again yet another of the indicators of a person who should not have been entrusted with anything. Kenyans had him in that office for 10 years as a deputy. Anything that went wrong, he must take responsibility. As to whether he should improve it, that is why he was again put in that office. If there was something that went wrong, he should be able then to improve it, and I hope he understands that. But you cannot continue. You see, but instead of him having spent the 10 years helping the regime that was there, he spent the 10 years on top of vehicles, like he has again done in the last 3 years. Hajakaa kwa ofisi. When he is in State House, he is receiving UDA delegation, like he is going to do the day after tomorrow. This guy has no time for the work that is required to be done with a pen and paper. The only time you see him with a pen and paper is when he's signing bills, which I am certain he doesn't know the content of those bills, because some of them are still very worrying to us as Kenyans.
And talking of 2027 and the game plan for that, is it the case that Jubilee will have a presidential candidate in the 2027 polls? As
a Secretary General of Jubilee, I was out there putting the party together, and we were also able to get a presidential candidate in the name of Fred Okengo Matiang'i. When you have a presidential candidate in your party, unless you have no confidence in the candidate that you have, first and foremost, you sell your candidate. If there will be a coalition later, that is a game that will be done in another space. You, as a party, is to sell your presidential candidate to Kenyans. Otherwise, you are playing games with them. And that is why the work I have today is to go out now and sell Fred Okengo Matiang'i. And we will do it as a party. We will do it when we are together with the united opposition. We will do it when you are in Azimio. Azimio is alive and kicking. And we believe that at the end of it all, 2027, we will be able to give Kenyans a candidate that is better than others that have been put on the table. Why? Because when you politics is about competition.
When you say we will give Kenyans a candidate, is that a Jubilee candidate or
he becomes the national? He becomes a national, the opposition candidate. We believe that he should be able to sail through that whole process. Look at what happened. We were out in the mountain, Muranga and Othaya this weekend. He was there being blamed that he did not do any party coloring. He didn't have party colors in the congregation or in the audience or in the rally. But two things. One, it was a DCP rally. So we were respectful of them and we allowed them to do the colors as they desired. But number two, even without any support, without the kind of flow, huge rallies behind him, his speech stood out. And even today, you look at his speech, it's doing over 100,000 views and likes, whatever you people call them. I look at what William was doing at Gikomba the other day. The live stream had only 200 people. His had 5,000 people. So these are the indicators of a person. These are indicators.
That's not necessarily an indicator of the number of votes.
Yeah, but sahi, tukitoka nawe hapa nje upatiwe kura 3 na mimi 5, ni kusema kuna kitu watu wanaona kwangu kuliko kwako. And that's what I'm saying. It doesn't mean that it is the end of the game, but it is indicative of people trying to, where is it that they are getting value for, the battles. You are in Gikomba and Matiang'i is on the other side. You have 200 people, he has 5,000 people. That is indicative, and these are numbers. The numbers don't try. So I am saying that come 2027, I believe that as a party, we should have been able to put our best forward and our best foot forward. And we should have been able to tell Kenyans why is it that we think Matiang'i can be able to manage this country better than is being managed by William. Why is it that he can actually fix the mess that William is creating every day? He wakes up as at the head of state.
And before your candidate becomes that national candidate, how do you intend to convince your colleagues in the opposition, the united opposition, who have equally expressed interest in wanting to vie for the same position come 2027?
One of the things is that if it was our colleagues that we are supposed to convince, then there will not be any need to go out and do rallies. We would be sitting with one another and, and arguing and the rest. But the fact that we are presenting ourselves to the public means, and it is clear, it is indicative that we understand, all of us, that the final decision will be made by the public. And I want to tell you that 2013 is a year of reference, and it's important to pay attention to what happened. Uhuru Kenyatta was a little reluctant to run. He had moved aloud, picked on Musalia, even talked of Kalonzo, talked of the others. But the people who were behind him, led by Akina Kavogo and Maisore Chomo, and other lady called Naomi Chabano Tafeta, they told him, it is not you who is looking for this office. It's us behind you looking for the office. And I see a similar scenario happening in this country this time round. We are seeing a very unpopular head of state, William Ruto. Extremely unpopular at 82%. And we are also seeing a person who is getting currents from every corner of this country. It's just like your screen there. Every corner of the country, you can hear somebody mentioning Matiang'i because he did something. He has a track record. So, and I believe if we do a little bit more, we should be able to tell Matiang'i, even as you walk into those boardrooms, remember, it is we Kenyans who are asking for you, not boardrooms.
All right. Jeremiah Kioni, when you say this is unpopular president, Kenya's past presidents each served 2 terms or more depending on the constitution in which they served under. What gives Jubilee and people like you the confidence that William Ruto will be the first one-term president?
Well, even he himself, whenever he goes to places, anaambiwa akisema chakula ndio hii, anaambiwa one term, chakula ndio hii, one. You know, those are Kenyans speaking. And when they are speaking that way from all corners, Kericho, Bomet, Kisumu, wherever, you can tell. And you can also see from the demeanor. I have watched him, I don't know whether it was today or yesterday, he was talking about this mess. I think it's today he was trying to answer back when we told him that he's created mess in the education system. And he speaks 3, 4, 5 paragraphs of Kisungu. And then at the end of it, he pauses and says, "Ama namna gani wananchi?" Then you can actually understand he's trying to impress Kenyans na Kisugu mingi, not based on any facts, because they're just very empty sentences that he's making. When you say that there are 500,000 kids who have not gone back to school, he should be saying it's not 500, it is 100,000. You know, you talk those kind of facts. So his unpopularity has nothing to do with what I'm saying. It has everything to do with how Kenyans are reacting to even his team when they go out there.
And given, and I still ask the question, given that then there's no Kenyan president who has served half of the 2-term constitutionally allowed limits, what gives you the confidence that William Ruto will serve 5 years? The
only reason, Kibaki almost served 1 term until he went out to give his track record. Fortunately for him, he had a track record and people had faith in him. There is one huge mistake William did when he got into power. And I talked to Abusha recently and he told me, Abusha wakaida kule Kenyatta Market, he told me, there is no comeback on this. His first whole period, he forgot that he made promises of bottom-up, hasara, and all those other things that he was saying. And he went on saying, this project tumemaliza, hapa tutajenga barabara. You don't know those jokes that were being made by people. That created a very bad image and impression of him among Kenyans. And a person who cannot be relied, he cannot give his word. And a leader is a person who gives his word. That he says, tulimwelewa pale mwanzo na tuliamua pale mwanzo. We are not going to change whether you uleta nyota, ulete mwangaza, ulete nini.
All right.
Number 2, the deaths of the Gen Zs, 24, 25, are a very painful thing in this country. And you can only think that Kenyans have forgotten if you are permanently choppering around and in the plane. You may forget what is happening hapa. Wakenya bado wanauliza. And on top of that, look at what is happening now. Our children are being trafficked.
Kioni, is it not the contradiction?
They're being trafficked all over the world kufanya mambo ambayo hatuelewi.
Is it not the contradiction that, as you point out to what the unfortunate incidents in which Gen Zs were killed, you are equally fronting a presidential candidate who is accused of overseeing the killing of Kenyans and the dumping of their bodies in River Yala? Isn't that not a contradiction?
I am happy if you reach out to him and get him to give you that explanation. I have listened to him. Before he came back into the country, I was very keen to hear his answers. And I can assure you that he is more than willing to talk about the same. Weka, nimesikia akisema, let us go before a commission of inquiry. Sisi wote tuapichwe, tuseme haya yalifanyika yako namna gani. You know what that tells you? Something needs to be done. And if there was any truth in what you have said, and that is something that was being peddled a lot by the UDA team when they were doing the 2022 campaign, they are now in power. They would have flagged him in court. He would be before the judges.
You say
charged with the same.
You say it's
the files are there.
You say
just a minute.
You say
just a minute. Just a minute. Yeah, I will not allow you before I finish.
Just on that point, you say
just before, and the DCI is there, NIS is there, the Commissioner of Police are there, and he keeps saying there is a file that was left open. Why are they not concluding on the findings of that file and take the people who've been mentioned there to court, including the Jacob Juma, the Msando, and the others.
You say it's something UDA peddled in the run-up to the 2022 election. It's something that...
And you can never finish what they peddled. They were full of peddling, including drugs.
It's equally something that happened when he was the interior minister. And your party leader, the president of the country, and your party, the governing party then.
No, I am saying that UDA were very focal before the 2022 election. Mm-hmm. And those of us who are outside were saying, Matiang'i lazima atalala ndani, lazima atafungwa kwa sababu yale mambo alikuwa amesema. To date, nothing. It is only now the media that is asking it. And it is good that you continue asking of it, because when we have a responsible government there again, we should be able to know what happened to those killings, mm-hmm. because there was a file, and he has said that many times, mm-hmm. open, and also what happened to the 2024, 2025, 2023 killings during demonstrations, because we lost very many people when we were doing demonstrations under the leadership and guidance of the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. All
right, Jeremiah Kioni, you are the deputy party leader. Your party leader is at the heart of wrangles in ODM and the Orange House. He's accused of dividing and wanting to, quote, buy it at $1 billion shillings. Does Jubilee intend to buy ODM?
Well, how I wish we had a stock exchange for political parties. Then that would also have helped us to see which parties are worth being listed on any stock exchange. Uhuru Kenyatta, the former head of state and our party leader, will be dragged in all these things because we believe that UDA is still looking for a bogeyman, a person they can continue running around and hitting and using as an escape code for the things that they have failed to do. ODM is a party that has its own management structure. They have their own party leader now. Oburu Odinga, I saw the Kenya Gazette indicating the leadership structure that they have. Mm-hmm. He has friends within ODM, just like he has friends in other parties, including Waitepa. But that issue of dragging his name everywhere is becoming untidy. He can hata hawezi enda kwa masishi ya rafiki. Akienda aseme pole, mnafikiria kusema pole kwa huyu ni kama amekuchekelea wewe uko hai kwa sababu umejishidwa. Yes.
So you say Uhuru Kenyatta has no interest in dividing ODM?
Yes, he has no business in that. But he is an elder. He is a mzee that is available to all of us to go and consult when we want to consult. But he's not available to... how can he be involved in creating quarrels in a party of a person who was one of his best friends in this country?
Finally, because of the interest of time, you will be tasked with grassroots mobilization of the party. Mm. You said in the earlier part of the interview that now you will be in the front line politically. Mm. What should we expect from?
And you will hear those, once we have done this and we are promoted to something else, utasikia wengine wakisema now demotion. Kwa sababu hata hii tutafanya utashangaa. We have work to do. We have grassroots. We have our aspirants. The party cannot function unless we have grassroots support. So we need to make it vibrant. We need to ensure that our aspirants are familiar with who are our grassroots leaders. Mm-hmm. What is it that you expect from Jubilee Party? How do we want to work together? We want to give all our aspirants a platform to campaign from. And let me say this because it has been said by our party leader, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. We will be feuding at every level. Everywhere. Mount Kenya, every MCA position will have a Jubilee candidate, as it will be the case in Western Kenya, Coast, Northeastern, everywhere. Mm-hmm. 1,450 MCAs. We will do that. So when you hear us saying that we have candidates everywhere, and we need this grassroots mobilization and to ensure that we are able to link the grassroots with the national office and all those kind of things, it is because we are committed to ensuring that we have better quality leaders in the country, and Kenyans are able to pick the leaders they want, not us to pick for them, as opposed to what has been done before.
All right, Jeremiah Kioni is Jubilee Party Deputy Party Leader. Mheshimiwa, thank you very much for your time tonight on TV47.
No, thank you so much for having us.
We were talking of Jubilee and the 2027 game plan ahead of the polls in 2027. We talked of their opposition to the Kenya Kwanza government and his role now as the deputy party leader of the party and what to expect from him. Let's get to the world of